Hello everyone, this is grade 3, module 6, lesson 6 homework. Mrs. Leal measures the heights of the students in her kindergarten class. The heights are shown on the line plot below. And as we can see, each X is going to equal one student. So the first question, which is A, says, how many students in Mrs. Leal's class are exactly 41 inches tall? So we're going to go to the 41 inch line and we're going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 students that are 41 inches tall. And there's my answer statement for it. Now B says, how many students are in Miss Leal's class? How do you know? So I want to go through and I want to count how many X's there are over each measurement. That's going to help me out, because now all I have to do is add up all the X's. So I could count each individual one, or I could add up 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 5, 3, and 1. And that will give me my total amount. So once I add all of those measurements up, I'm going to get an answer of 20 total students. And it says, how do you know? I know because each X represents one student and there are 20 X's. So that's what I'm going to put down for my how do I know explanation. So there's my answer statement right there. Now I can take a look at C. And C says, how many students in Mrs. Leal's class are more than 42 inches tall? So I'm going to go to the 42 mark, and I know I'm looking at everything to the right. So if I count these, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 students in Mrs. Leo's class are more than 42 inches tall. So let's go down to the last part, which is D for this page. And it says, Miss Leal says that for the class picture, students in the back row must be at least 42.5 inches tall. How many students should be in the back row? So when it says at least, it means 42.5 and taller. So when I go up and look, I can look at 42.5 and anyone taller. And that's the same question we just had. Because we had taller, more than 42 inches, the next jump was 42.5. So at least 42.5. So it's going to be 9 students. Because there are 9 X's from 42.5 all the way up to 44. Look at page 2. And on page 2 it says, Mr. Stein's class is studying plants. They plant seeds in clear plastic bags and measure the lengths of roots. The lengths of roots in inches are shown in the line plot below. How many roots did Mr. Stein's class measure? How do you know? Well, when I look at this, I see each X represents one plant. So I can count these now. There's 2 there, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 3, and 1. So now what I would do is add all of those up. And when I add those all up, there are 24. So I'm going to write my answer statement. And there's my answer statement. There are 24 roots that Mr. Stein's class measured. I know this because there are 24 X's, and each X is worth one plant. So let's take a look at the next question down below. And that's question B. And it says, Teresa says that the 3 most frequent measurements in order from shortest to longest are 3 1/4, 3 2/4, and 3 3/4. Do you agree? Explain your answer. So let's first start at 3 1/4, 3 2/4, and 3 3/4. Those are the 3 measurements. And if I'm looking at the longest ones, I see that this one, and this one are actually the longest. 3, 3 1/4, 3 2/4. I wouldn't consider 3 3/4 as one of the longest because there's one that's actually longer than it. So um, I disagree with this statement because at 3 inches, there's 4 plants, and at 3 3/4, there's only 3 plants. And there's my answer statement there for it, stating just what I said. Now, for part C, Gerald says that the most common measurement is 14 1/4 inches. Is he right? Why or why not? So, what you'll want to do is you'll want to go through and you're going to want to put in 1/4 inches all across this line. And I know at one hole, that's 4 1/4. And then 2 holes would be 8 1/4 because it's 2 of these 4 1/4. So this is 8 1/4. This would be 9 1/4. This next one would be 10 1/4, and then 11 1/4. I gotta go down below, 12 1/4, and then 13 1/4, and then 14 1/4. So Gerald says the most common measurement is 14 1/4 inches. Is he right? Why or why not? Yes, he is. Because at 14 1/4 is the same as 3 2/4, which is where there's 5 X's, meaning 5 plants. And that's the height where the most plants are. And there's my answer statement there for that. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps, and good luck on your homework.